requested that you can खाना 12 रुपए में मिलता है. So it was a topic of discussion in our office, and our marketing guy went and put out a tweet that actually 12 रुपए में खाना मिलता है और tasty खाना. And that completely went viral. On so we the 12 रुपए खाना worked out in the sense that we get 288 rupees off on a 300 rupee meal. And we put it on Twitter, that's it. It was just to post that what Raj Babbar says is true. There is a 12 rupee meal. TK12 was the code and people could use it. And everything hell broke loose in terms of Twitter. We were trending on that day in Twitter. It went on WhatsApp. People started creating groups, say 12 rupees mein khana mil raha hai, loot lo kind of thing. So everyone started talking about it, and we were doing 100 odd orders and stuff like that, and everything crashed. In terms of we were nowhere close to, we were getting traffic of maybe 1,000 people a day or something, and suddenly we had like 50-60,000 people logging on the site. So right from tech and operations, everything broke. We were all on calls, and we shut down the site on that day. And also the coupon was multiple times you could use it. So you could order 10 meals using a coupon. You split your order into it. So everyone was doing कि जितना होता है निकालो सब तक site चल रहा है पैसे लूट लो इनसे. So that kind of became the attitude, and but that was the best thing which we ever did, I would say, because we got everywhere in social media. First time outside Pune, people started talking about tasty khana, and the next day we were on front page of Pune Mirror. An entire caption saying that Pune entrepreneur gives meals for 12 rupees, and then everyone was like, okay, what's tasty khana? And that viral campaign, then we got publicity in almost every media kind of spoke about us, pretty decent ones who never even knew what tasty khana was. So if you look at CPA, if you customer acquisition cost, it was $288, and that was the cheapest marketing campaign ever we've done till date in terms of acquiring customers. So everyone told me you kind of went bankrupt doing that, but actually not. The best way to spend money was, so I tell my people now also, अगर कुछ तोड़ता है सर को please go and try it. We tried so many, but these things happen. You never plan a viral campaign, it just happens. So yeah, that was like one thing which completely broke our site, and like that was my apology mail when you were asking me outside. But when I sent an apology, because it was too stressing for me that okay, so many people are abusing you day in day out for those 4 days, and everyone is like after your blood, and in food you get all sorts of areas. You will be in jail behind, and there were things like my mother died because she didn't eat food yesterday. And come on, tasty khana khana hi hai. So that's the kind of stories which people make up, that I was ill and I was in hospital and I didn't get food. You have a lot of stories there.
I think it's very different compared to like Flipkart. If my phone cover does not show up for 2 days, I think I can live. But with your food, you're actually hungry and you want it right there.
So that's a tough part. Wherein see, as I was telling outside someone, it's a failure rate which we call it. So a 3% failure rate is internally what we accept is okay, a day is good and weekend is goes to 5%. But if I say a 3%, you say okay, chalo acha kar lo. But look at 3% and we're doing thousands of orders. 3,000 customers went hungry today. So like what bullshit site are they running in terms of if so many people go hungry? And it's not possible to do 100% in this business, unfortunately. And like in life, you can't make everyone happy. Unfortunately, in our business, it's not possible that we can make everyone happy every day. And that hurts you because people are coming for ordering food. And a new customer, example, let's say a lot of people have not ordered from Tasty Khana. You go and listen to my story, he's done so and so, and you order and the food doesn't turn up. Like, kya baat karte tha, to khana to aata nahi ghar pe. So that's the immediate example you take, but we are a marketplace, and it's not an excuse, but restaurants don't deliver for hundreds of reasons. Petrol khatam ho gaya, banda kha gaya raste pe, and there are a lot of stories there where the food doesn't reach you. So a lot of things happen. So then you don't have control over these things, and you apologize and go back. But as a result, small, so we try to. So now there are a lot of stuff which we do back in terms of rating the restaurant, killing him down, because now we are big in terms of volumes. But initially, when you're small, the restaurant dictates your terms. So, but still, there is failure today. I would be lying if I said no. And it's an everyday challenge. And everyone orders at lunch and dinner. So you have 2 peak hours where everything goes up, and everyone wants at the same time. So it's a nightmare in terms of when things go wrong, because when the orders go beyond a threshold, you plan for X orders, you get 10X orders. Your customer care lines get jammed, and everyone thinks that you run away with the money. That's the first impression which people have. When I order pay kar diya, mere ko khana nahi hai, paise leke bhag gaya. So that's the extreme which they go to. And hungry night, you're sleeping hungry is a painful thing which I can completely understand with customers.
So I remember one thing that you talked about in terms of the kind of business and the online ordering. I think so. You told me that you actually process more orders for Domino's than they do on their own site.
Not yet, but we will soon get there. So Domino's was the first third-party tie-up done in India was the Tasty Khana, and that itself took me 4 years to get there. So Domino's coming on board was a huge kick for us in the team in terms of, and it actually is still because the crazy volumes for Domino's. So if you've ordered from Domino's online, I would be underestimating if I say the product sucks, basically, in terms of how their online ordering works. So basically what we do is, we are not great at our website also, but much better than what Domino's does. So we were much more innovative and are completely seamless automation with them, and we process crazy orders for them. I can't reveal numbers, unfortunately, but we do crazy orders for Domino's today, and we should soon surpass what they do themselves, because it's a one-stop solution for people. They don't want to go elsewhere, and soon we'll have McDonald's, Pizza Hut, everyone coming on board. So I don't think you need to go anywhere else if you want to order food for sure.
So you don't have to share numbers, you can just share coupons with us.
For new users, coupon always available.
So let's talk about, I think we've covered most aspects of your journey in the last 7 years. Let's talk about some other areas that we haven't talked about, like for example, building teams.
Yeah.
So you earlier talked about, that you were a bit stingy in hiring,
Yeah.
and I think that has changed now,
Yeah.
right? So could you talk about some experiences there, what are your learnings in terms of what you can tell other entrepreneurs in terms of building
I think
teams?
hiring is one of the most difficult part and still continues to be, because now especially it's so competitive out there. The e-commerce companies are super funded and everyone is falling over each other to pay more salaries. So now it's a different scenario, but when you're starting off, I think a lot of people who just started off will probably connect that hiring people is tough. No one believes in your story, and you don't have big salaries to pay, and you're always painting the story that something will happen later. And it's tough to hire people that time. So my first hire, which was kind of professional, came in was from Mom's Kitchen, and he was an ex-CEO of that company, and I met him for a tie-up, and I figured out that he was selling that business and going somewhere. So that's when I hired him kind of on board, saying, okay, why don't you join with us? But in the hindsight, what I look was when we had money from Delivery Hero and our angel investor also, we could have paid more. I think, and I've seen a lot of my colleagues, like even Redbus, if you see what Funny has been saying also, a lot of people doing mistakes, they don't pay money enough. I think you need to pay for talent, and that changes your business. If you have the money, don't be stingy in paying salary, because if you have the right talent, they're going to change your business, and it's worth much more. So we've kind of seen 10x return when we hired the right people. So I think that's one big learning which we have. And the other thing is, hiring is, it's a lot of, you have to put a lot of efforts to it. In terms of the initial first 20 people, 30 people are the toughest, because everyone wants to be in a big company. The social structure is such that you want to be in Infosys, and so now things are changing. It's much more different today. As someone was telling me outside, being an entrepreneur is now cool, and especially e-commerce is now cool. So now it's much better, but earlier, and I don't know, it's kind of mass widespread, but it's still better than what we were before. So my thing there was, you need to spend time with people, and the founders need to be able to sell their story. If that's the only way you're going to buy someone, because they trust you. That's the only way. Whatever you sell is something the person will trust you personally, and if that sells, only then people will join in. So pay money and be a good seller.
Besides building teams, are there any other challenges, in the last 7 years that you faced? Something specific that comes to your mind, and how did you overcome that challenge?
I can break it up into how initially it was. So initial 2 years, as I said, operationally very tough. We didn't take one holiday for 365 to 2 years. We didn't take even 1 day off, and we were working probably 14-18 hours minimum every day. So looking back again, looks like wow, we actually did that, and we never fell ill. We never had family commitments and stuff. So we lost all our social circle. So my co-founder Sheldon had this big hair growing and dadi and stuff like that. So he had this. I was going outside, so I didn't get into that avatar. But so 2 years were where we completely lost everything. All our friends, personal life, family, and stuff like that. So that was one of the big challenges in terms of how do you kind of live up to that. So it was pretty paining in terms of when your parents think you don't have money, they want to give you and stuff like that. So those were the initial 2 years, but the passion drives you. That time you're just crazy when people say that, that worked out. I think after that it was more about how do we scale. I think that question I'm answering now, and in terms of everyone with outside investment coming in, the first question is scale kaise karoge. That's the kind of big keyword which every investor asks for. And that took time. So that's a tough thing, because you need people, you need infrastructure. And in our business, if you look at it, you have sudden spikes in terms of, if you run a campaign, you'll have suddenly 10,000 orders coming in a day. And you need to have automation in terms of giving to restaurants. So for our business specifically, the challenge is in terms of how do you get the operations and the back end right. And I think that we put a lot of efforts and money and time in that. So I think that has been my key, one of the toughest challenges in smoothing that out. So we had failure rates of 30% earlier, imagine. So 1 out of 3 orders are failing. That's like a disaster in terms of any company. So that's gone down to like 3%. So it's sort of it's an execution business for us. And finally, any business is about execution. But for us, it's not like a technology. Ek bar site bana de worldwide use kare. It's about daily. If I can't live on what happened yesterday, every day is a new day for us, because every day we're serving food and things like that. So operationally, it's very tough. I think that's where we've kind of done really well in scaling up and being where we are today.
So I'll open it up to the public.
Yeah.
But before that, I have one more, just a wrapping up question. So what is the most important advice that you could pass on to the audience before we open?
So I always say start early. I said a lot of people are already entrepreneurs, so probably